Hello, hello, hello. What a day, huh? All you have to do is just look away for a minute, and next thing you know, it seems like um, 5 years has passed. 5 years of news seem to have happened all in like just a matter of hours. From like the time we went to bed last night, we kind of knew some things were coming, but other things, oh my goodness. Well, let's see. All right. Okay. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Um, let's see. Okay. All right. Just need to do a couple things here. I do apologize for that. All right. So overnight, I actually uploaded two other videos. So don't forget to go and check on those other two that I uploaded. But okay, just gonna let our friends on the Twitter know we're here, and and then I'm good to go. Mm, okay, okay. I heard some discussion um about Bojo's hair. Okay, let me just say this. Bojo has created a character. Uh, a, he's like a characterization of himself. And before I really go into Bojo, before I forget to mention this, I have been saying this for quite some time, is that it is alarming how much he has in common with Donald J. Trump. It is alarming how much they have in common. Um, no two greater grifters have there ever been. I shared a video on Twitter yesterday that really gave you like an overview of Boris Johnson's life from childhood. And I didn't realize he was born in New York, but from his childhood right on up to um, seizing the reins of power, becoming a world leader, um, which seems so improbable given his personality. But the same way they used to say that Trump is not temperamentally, um, I guess, safe or ideal for the presidency. It's like a mirror image, and I'm so amazed by that. That not only that somebody like a Trump could happen, but someone like a Boris Johnson could happen. Someone seemingly who has no compassion, no empathy, no lie is too big. It's just incredible that something like that in these modern times, or someone like that in these modern times, can happen, but they can happen and they will happen, even with the aid of the internet. And of course, journalism has gone through a change because of the internet, where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer. Anyone with a smartphone can have a platform. And in spite of all of that, lies only get bigger just so that they could somehow escape the filter of the other, I guess, forms of media, which of course social media seems to dominate right now. And desperately and persistently, the legacy media is struggling to catch up. So let me get over here and say hi to a few people. Interesting. As I started today, I found out that StreamYard has added another feature, which I don't even have time to play with it just yet, but I'll get around to it. Okay. So, welcome one and all. I'm taking a long scroll through to make sure that I haven't missed any Super chat, super stickers, or new memberships. And I don't believe that I have, so that's fine. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to scroll in the other direction and say hello to Rochelle Baudreau, H. Knight, Connie Bomber, Church Nelly, TCC Son, Gwendolyn Daniels, and Chef Sandy Love wants to say hi to a few people. Phyllis Johnson, Tiger K. Hub, Marcy Foreman, Kenetha Ash, hello, Lucy Wynn, Mo Jones. Okay. All right. Okay. And Elizabeth Daniels, Sylvia Fielder, Alita Portress, Karen 1 or Karen I. Val Rich, Nikki K, Rosa Roberts, Sonia Johnson, Miss Levy, or Levy that is, Hemmings, Veronica Quick. Who else is that? Mina Ruth, Judy Rigo, W. Ed, Verta Sanchez, Carmen Bennett, welcome, 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 and more welcomes. Elaine Parker and Veronica Quick. Yvonne Clark, hi. Lucy Wynn, Anastasia Isabella. Okay, am I starting to repeat myself? I don't think I should do that. Lydia Washington, I saw you were all the way up there at the top. Beverly Hardy wants to say hi to a few people. Okay, so let us move on. Myra, hi Myra. Okay, Udine Green, Hazel Bryan. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. So let's get over to my slides. I only got one set of slides today. I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour or just over an hour most days because I realize that I just kind of get comfortable, and next thing you know, we have drifted into 2 hours and sometimes 3 hours. And I think that's a bit excessive, don't you? Even though we're having our fun and everything, and we're chatting away, and oh man, okay. All right, so this is gonna be fun. I can see that. Okay, it's weird. Right now, hello, Church Nelly. They changed something just like I just said right now. They changed something with the StreamYard. But as they changed something, guess what? Now it's kind of glitchy. There's no way I could show you what I'm seeing, but the reason why I'm clicking on these is because on my end they are super narrow. It's like a column of words instead of paragraphs or sentences, and I don't know what I can do about it right now. Strange. Let me try to open up on another window and see if that helps. Strange. Anytime they fix something simultaneously, they have the capability. Oh, there it is. It's back. They have. Okay. Now, I hope. You may have heard a bit of an echo. I had to leave from one window and open up another because I couldn't see your comments anymore. It's okay. It's okay. It's working. But sometimes StreamYard gets a little glitchy when they change something. So, not so important right now. They will work out these bugs. But for now, Um, yeah, it's just a matter. I had to go over to another window and, bring up my slides again, which is right there. Perfection. We're good. All right, no problem, you guys. Uh, Emergency, or what is it? Um, no, it's not an emergency. Okay, good. All right, so I'm just opening up another window, so just in case that one fails again. And StreamYard, fix it. Yes, I know. I heard that. That's because I had to open up another window, so I had two windows open at one time. Yvonne Clark says, Baron, you make my workday go faster. Oh, nice. I'm glad to help. I am so glad to help. One of the biggest, or should I say, the most flattering thing that I ever hear is that I'm doing my work and I'm listening to you. I'm in the garden, I'm washing dishes, I'm making lunch or dinner. I love hearing stuff like that. Um, it makes me feel a part of it all. You know what I mean? So I'm glad for that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Well, Marshall says, it's an omen. Bojo and Chumbly are a disgrace to their country and should never be in power. Every career dies that touches. Who is Chumpy? How often did Chucky meet with T Rump? Oh, Chump. Okay, okay. You're talking about Trump. Yeah, yeah. Cut from the same cloth, I'm afraid. Tell lies to deliberately confuse. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I got this slide up. All right, so here's the unseen hand. Remember, I kept saying there's an unseen hand. There seems to be an unseen hand. Well, now I know whose hand it is. Sir Edward Young blamed for failing to find right role for Meghan. Um, this is from an unfortunate source. Robert Lacey is quoted in this Times article following the fallout that is from the Oprah Winfrey interview. Notice the date there. Take a look at that date, March 12th, 2021. This is just days after the Oprah interview, right? And a year after the infamous, that is, Commonwealth service, where the pettiness of the royal family seemed to have been placed on full display. I mean, take a look at it right there. Sir Edward Young blamed for failing to find right role for Meghan, almost as if there was a opportunity to sabotage her, and he took it. There was a prime opportunity to sabotage any type of meaningful role that the Duchess of Sussex would have within the royal family. As what's that moron's name? Oh yeah, that rootin' tootin' Dan Wooten, as he always says, the royal family. Well, any meaningful role for her was obviously discouraged or deterred or just plain right blocked, out and out blocked by the powers that be. And in this case, that powerful person was Sir Edward Young, the Queen's personal secretary. This guy has been very, very busy. I'm sure before the Duchess of Sussex showed up, and then after she showed up, he turned his gaze to the Sussexes, and nothing could go right for them. So it's not just the Duke of Cambridge that seems to have been a problem. It seems as though he was working in conjunction with a few people, allegedly, possibly, and most likely, like, for instance, the press, the press, you know? And of course, that again, I'm telling you, Dan Wooten has his very volatile nature. His words have. Okay, let's do it again, shall we? Dan Wooten launches a tirade against the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's much easier for them to blame anything uncomfortable on racism rather than address the fact that the negativity toward them is coming from within the royal family. The royal family, right? Okay, that's one source, but let's not overlook the Queen's personal secretary, which, as we have said quite often, the courtiers this, the courtiers that. Well, the courtiers seem to have played an incredibly large role with or without the consent of the family. But most likely, I think it was lockstep with um, the Kensington Palace and on far too many occasions the Clarence House. I think they all seem to work together as a unit, as a one entity to make sure that the Sussexes were set up for failure. That they would rein them in should they become too popular, which of course they did become incredibly popular. And so after that, it was necessary for them to go. And so it was off to the races, or should I say, off to um, the Frogmore Cottage and eventually out of the country. Okay. Prince Harry, Queen's private secretary, should not have been involved in security decision. The Duke of Sussex lawyer told the High Court there were significant tensions between Prince Harry and Sir Edward. It emerged in court that at the time the decision was made, Sir Edward, as well as the Queen's assistant private secretary and the master of Prince Charles' household, all sat on the committee. Speaking of on the committee, um, is it too early to be petty? But speaking of on the committee, there's another Edward who has nothing to do with this, but I think he's on a different committee, but he's on the committee, which is a euphemism. But anyway, I digress. Never mind him. But he's on a different committee. But yeah, I couldn't resist. All right. Sorry. Let me put my serious space back on. Just a little bit for now. Okay. July the 7th, 2022, the Duke of Sussex has argued that significant tensions between himself and the Queen's private secretary, Sir Edward Young, meant he should not have been involved in the government's decision to deny him and his family police protection in the UK. Shahid Fatima, who is the QC, Queen's Counsel, I believe that is, for Prince Harry, told the High Court that it was not appropriate for Sir Edward or senior members of the royal household to have had any say on the matter, complaining that the Duke had been told the Home Office Committee was independent. She suggested that the Duke's concern and requests regarding his security, including an offer to pay, which had been made by Sir Edward and others, were not fully communicated to the committee. Prince Harry is seeking a judicial review of the decision to deny him and his family automatic security whenever he steps back onto UK soil and instead review it on a case by case basis. He is challenging the unlawful decision made by the executive committee for the protection of the royalty and public figures known as RAVAC in February 2020, shortly after he announced that he was stepping back as a working member of the royal family and moving abroad. The Duke on Thursday lodged an application for a second judicial review concerning his offer to pay for protection, which government lawyers have dismissed as irrelevant. Miss Fatima told the court that Prince Harry should have been given a clear and full explanation of the composition of Ravak and those involved in the decision making. In other words, that this included the royal household. She said that he had been deprived of any opportunity to make direct representations to member and had not been informed about the policy and how it was applied. Ms. Fatima added in a written submission that he should also have been given the opportunity to make any other points he wished, such as whether it was appropriate for the royal household, certain individuals to be involved in making the decision. She insists in court, we have not alleged bias, we have not alleged bad faith. The barrister told Mr. Justice Swift that specifically the Duke did not believe Sir Edward should have been involved. There were significant tensions between the claimant and Sir Edward Young, she said. The judge replied, "That is quite a bold submission to make." Ms. Fatima argued that government policy allowed for state security to be provided to all within the immediate line of succession, but that in this case it had been applied in an overly rigid manner, as the Duke, who is sixth in line to the throne, had been excluded from that scope. So, as I say, the unseen hand. So, Sir Edward seems to have been one of the main instigators when it comes, if not the primary instigator, when it comes to the idea that the Sussexes should not have a compulsory, or should I say, well, yeah, I guess that's the right word, um, security detail anytime they set foot upon English soil. Okay, away from home, they got this. Although I still think that Charles should pay for it. But when they're over there, being sixth in line to the throne, he should have security. It shouldn't be a question of it. But for some reason, as though there was some kind of punishment for having stepped back from royal duty, or that is senior royal duty, it seemed to have been some type of punishment for the Sussexes, right down to baby Lily, that there will be no security forthwith. And no, you do not have the option to pay for it. If you want security, bring your own security. He is still in a constitutional position as a prince of the realm. If the Windsors had a really bad day, like for instance, during the global pandemic, I'm sure it didn't escape anybody's notice that the Sussexes were safely ensconced in their home in California, whereas one of the largest outbreaks during the pandemic happened in places like Italy and, of course, in London, New York. Well, let's see. The British royal family seems to mostly hang around London. That is where they call home, is the London area, the greater London area, and the various country houses nearby. And so, um, as you know, quite a few of them in the family seems to have been subjected to the pandemic. Hi, Crystal J. And during that time, we weren't sure that Charles was going to survive. We were not sure his emotional support, Camilla, would survive. Then we find out that even William had been subject to the pandemic. Her Majesty the Queen in time. So, what I'm trying to say is, being sixth in line to the throne, that made a lot of people very nervous that Prince Harry might actually, like for instance, the fact that the Cambridges love to take a helicopter to the McDonald's drive through because the Cambridges like to fly everywhere. If the Windsors had a really bad day, all of a sudden there would be a King Harry. Everybody was thinking the same thing. I thought the same thing myself. I'm like, ooh, there's a global pandemic. The Sussexes are in Canada, and then of course the U.S. Ooh, what if? That's all I kept thinking was, what if? Well, there are a lot of people who have a higher pay grade than I've ever had in my life. I mean, their lunch costs more than it took to raise me, and they were thinking the same thing. So Harry was definitely a member of the family who should have had round the clock police protection, not paid for out of his pocket, not paid for by Tyler Perry, but by the royal family. By the royal family. The royal family should have paid for his protection. They still should pay for his protection. I'm not saying the Metropolitan Police should be there, but he has a constitutional position. And to act as though there's any other way to look at it is just being brutally or being brutal and punishing them for leaving. He can very well still be the king if they had a particularly bad day or a bad month or something like that. And that's just a fact. And so, for that reason, and because he has been in Afghanistan doing 2 tours of duty, he has an implied target upon him, especially when he goes home. And thanks to the very foul language and the inferred disloyalty to the queen and good old fashioned racism, of course, there are white supremacists who feel like Prince Harry should has what did they call Archie an abomination? They don't even think he should be alive. They call him a race traitor. And for those reasons in particular, when he goes home, just like in the United States, just like in France, just like in the United Kingdom, domestic terrorism seems to be one of the priorities for any police agency, whether it's a local town or in particular for, like, let's say, the Her Majesty's Secret Service or perhaps the United States President's Secret Service. The idea of domestic terrorism is something that keeps a lot of people up at night. And so, leaving Prince Harry and his family with American security officers or private security officers who everyone now knows would be completely unarmed and vulnerable, wouldn't have any type of communication with the official law enforcement, that would leave them quite vulnerable, as we found out when Prince Harry went to the Whale Child event after unveiling Princess Diana's statue at Kensington Palace. Believe me, I'm not saying anything that people don't already know, especially the people that may have it in for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And sadly enough, not limited to them, that includes their children. They ought to pay for his security. And if they won't pay for it, then allow him to pay for it. But they should make sure that he gets the same level of protection that any other senior member of the royal family receives, working or not. He deserves that protection. That is his birthright. And so when people say, oh, they don't live by those titles, they should just give up those titles. You never know. You never know when his birthright will serve him in a way that you and I are not qualified to anticipate. But it is his birthright. And Harry, the Duchess of Sussex, his children, they will never just be another citizen walking down the street. They are always going to be royal, and they may always be subject to being targeted by some pretty nasty people out there. So that's what I have to say about it. But let's go on. Let's go on. So the firm was out to get Prince Harry and his family. It emerged in court that at the time the decision was made, Sir Edward, as well as the Queen's assistant private secretary and the master of Prince Charles's household all sat on the committee. They all sat on the committee and decided to just take things away from Harry, in particular, his security. If you're not setting them up for a tragic event, then what was the point of that? The money is not coming out of anybody's pocket directly. What what was the purpose of that? Was that an implied threat? Was that to make him feel uneasy? Was that a punishment? Exactly what was the intention? What did you have in mind when you decided that he should not have security? And the Queen, who disappoints me more in the past, oh, I would say 2 years than in a lifetime, um, the Queen hasn't come short of disappointing a lot of people, especially people who care about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It is absolutely outrageous that one of the richest women in the world, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and of course, the prince, with his constitutional position, his high ranking in the royal family, the idea that there would be any question about security is outrageous from the start, and that it was taken away shows a malicious intent. And I'm glad, I'm glad that this is finally emerging, so that the public will have a chance to at least see, or even better, that this is a matter of public record. The idea that they were setting them up for failure or worse. I think it was or worse, but all right, so Queen's private secretary made Knight Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. That happened in 2019. So, in spite of all of everything that I just mentioned, most of which the worst happened since they stepped back, um, you can see that he is pretty chummy, it appears, with Boris Johnson. And in 2019, he was given the very high rank of Knight Commander. And so maybe that's why he was so emboldened to do the things that he has done to the Sussexes, to Prince Harry directly, because after all, he is a Knight Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. I mean, I don't know if he could ever get any higher than that unless he, I don't know, married into the family. But how do you get any higher than that for someone like that? The Metropolitan Police had proven to be unworthy. Can you imagine the strain Harry was under? Remember, he preferred going to war than living with them. Yes, says he. And I remember also that he said that he felt more comfortable there, and that he would get really like choked up. He would feel like this very oppressed feeling when he would have to leave Afghanistan and come home for any reason. It was, um, crapping out in the desert, being on a helicopter and peeing in a jug was better than being at home with his own family. I mean, that's just the long and the short of it. He'd rather be out there being chased around by scorpions or whatever venomous creatures they have in that desert. He'd rather be out there dealing with that than to be at home with the family in the poshest accommodations that anybody could imagine, albeit old and inadequate. But that was better to him to stay in the theater of war. Black Pearl says, thanks, Baron, for making this so clear. Failure or worse was the plan. Yeah, that seems to have been exactly what they had in mind. Is to just leave them like a sitting duck. And then let's not forget all the information that was leaked about the fact that financially they were cut off, and also about the fact that they were in Canada at that time, and there was one leak after the other, and Charles made a public spectacle of it. But then we get to this um, private secretary, um, who seems to be the person who leaked. It seems to be that it was under his instruction that certain leaks were made. It goes back and forth. You can point fingers to a lot of people, but increasingly, I'm starting to see this as someone who was one of the main instigators in the, I guess, um, potential. I'm choosing my words carefully, but like I said, they were setting them up for failure or worse. All right, so right there, meet some of the royal family's important household support. Well, there he is again. There he is riding with the queen, and oh, I forget who that guy is. And also there he is with the Prince Michael of Kent, aka the oh, I can't say that for legal purposes, but anyway, he's a friend of a lot of Russian oligarchs, and he's been accused of certain financial things that were pretty shady. But yeah, there they are, quite cozy in a totally different carriage ride from the one you see on the left. But there he is, right there in the carriage with the Queen, and that was back in November of 2018. So this was after the Sussexes were married, and at the time, he was the one who just could not seem to find an appropriate role for the Duchess of Sussex. I believe that that would have been something that he would have been responsible for at the time, and he made certain choices that was more damaging than helpful to her. So the Sussexes were just um, pretty much on a boat without a rudder. It was just like being out to sea without a rudder. You couldn't figure out which direction you could possibly go because you're in this rudderless boat. And so while you're, you know, uh, I guess paddling away, you couldn't really steer in any direction. Well, not paddling, but motoring away. But you couldn't steer in any direction because you didn't have a rudder. You were just out there floundering in the water, so to speak. So it's amazing. Sir Edward Young, the man who blocked Harry from being able to see his grandmother, who told the world Harry blindsided the Queen, who leaked that he failed to ask permission to use the name for his daughter. The man permitted to present Harry's security requests to the committee. And I'm sorry, I forgot to credit the squatty that put this on the Twitter, but it's very good. These questions, or not questions, but the statement right here. It says a lot in just a few sentences. Sir Edward Young, the man who blocked Harry from being able to see his grandmother. Remember, Harry told Oprah he'd come back to the UK, and his grandmother said, "Yeah, make sure you come and see me." And then he gets that phone call in the 11th hour telling him, oh, the Queen's got a thing, and no, her diary is full all week long. It appears that that was something that happened because of Sir Edward Young. Well, certainly that message didn't come from William. Certainly it didn't come from Charles, but it came from someone who worked for the royal family, and it's pretty obvious that it was likely Sir Edward Young, who told the world Harry blindsided the Queen. Well, as the Queen's personal assistant, personal secretary, if anyone could have squashed that story, could have made clear that she wasn't blindsided, it would have been him. So either he could have stopped it and he didn't, or he leaked it. One, the other, or both happened. The man permitted to present Harry's security request to the committee. So the security request, was it presented with a wink and a nod? Was it permitted in a way that discouraged them from actually granting his request? Exactly what role did he play? Now you have all of the authority of being the assistant to the queen or secretary, and yet you allow something like that to just fester without actually securing the Sussex household. Let's see here. Oh, and then there's that. A key player, a player that is, at royal crisis meeting to decide Harry and Meghan's future. Sir Edward Young, which is featured there on the right, secretary to the Queen, will join the meeting in Sandringham. Now, this was, oh, you know what? I cut off the date there. I think I cut off the date. But yeah, so this was the Mirror even saying at the time that he would be present at the summit. He was there. He helped to orchestrate things. A key player at the royal crisis meeting to decide Meghan and Harry's future. Her Majesty has summoned senior members in the royal family to Sandringham Palace days after Meghan and Harry announced that they would step back from their official duty. Now, somebody leaked it to the press, and I believe it was Dan Wooten, possibly. Sorry if I got that wrong, but I believe it was Dan Wooten who said that I'm giving you, what, 10 days to tell the world that you're stepping back, or I will leak the story myself. How did he find out? The Queen's most senior, most confidant oh, secretary had possession of this. And of course, likely Boris Johnson and quite a few other people. And to show you that things only get out when they wanted to, there are photos of Archie and Lily all over that family. They have shared photos via the Zoom. I'm sure of that. They have seen the children via the Zoom. They could have done screenshots or whatever. They could have leaked that stuff at any time that they wanted to. Of course, that would have only made things worse. But I'm saying that to say this. There are quite a few people in senior positions that knew that the Sussexes were going to step back. They probably know a lot of things that we couldn't even possibly imagine. However, in spite of all of that, certain things just don't leak. But things that are designed to embarrass the Sussexes, or even worse, to hurt the Sussexes, is as though the town crier has gotten a hold of it, and they told him, yes, go out there, start ringing that bell, and sing like Aretha Franklin. Make sure that everything that I've told you gets out there. So they can hold back things when they want, and they can release information whenever they choose to do it. And so this guy seems to be front and center in a lot of the mischief that has happened since the Sussex, well, actually before the Sussexes stepped back, and then of course since they stepped back. So I think we're I think we've learned a lot about, and this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, but we have learned a lot about the workings of the Windsor household, and of course the terrible shortcomings of the Windsor household. Now, when Harry said that he wanted to make sure that his grandmother was surrounded by the right people, was this guy's influence, Sir Edward Young, was his influence something that alarmed Prince Harry? Was that one of the reasons why Prince Harry could not seem to, I guess, get certain things done with the help of his grandmother, because this 96-year-old woman was overly influenced by the likes of Prince Charles, who needs the tabloid press to maintain any type of popularity and hence authority, right? So Prince Charles needs senior people like that, as well as people in the press, to help him stay afloat. And then, of course, there is someone who is a wannabe, someone who is equally, well, actually more unprepared for the job than Charles, who also needs to rely upon some pretty dark figures if he's going to hold on to power and maintain any popularity. Otherwise, people are going to dismiss him as the fool that he is, and he won't be able to get anything done. He hasn't tried to do anything. Nobody's intervening on his behalf. They're leaving him and his wife to flounder. Nobody's stepping up to try to make them look any better than they have. It's just an exercise of futility. The fact that they go out to these things and pretend to be interested, the fact that we know that they're not, lets you know that they also are being set up for failure. But they just get to have a spotlight while they do it. They get a chance to pretend as though they're actually effective when they're not. But they have been set up for failure. I don't know if it was Clarence House. I don't know if it was this Edward Young, but they've been set up for failure. There's been too many things that have gone wrong for them. It's not just karma, it's a setup. Okay. It is a setup, and they're not bright enough to work their way out of it. Okay, so Lydia says, Baron, you are giving the queen too much of a pass. Anyone who goes to work and mess with your boss's family and sees what happens, they move on the queen's authority. I agree with that. I agree with that. And that authority may or likely has been given. But then again, it's not too difficult to have too much influence over a 96-year-old woman who is also being influenced by her son, the king in waiting. The king in waiting. So um, I don't know. I don't know. I can only go by what Harry said. I want to make sure that she's surrounded by the right people. So there's something in that. How much she's responsible for that, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not giving her a pass. I'm just saying that there's definitely the possibility of influence. I mean, she is 96 years old. And, as we get older, we become more emotional and more subject to suggestion. And the fact that she can get through a speech doesn't mean that she's competent. It just means that she can get through a speech. I mean, she still speaks French fluently and probably German, but it doesn't mean that she's fully competent and that she's not subject to change. So I don't know how much of a role that she plays, but this is just the big surprise for me is that this Sir Edward Young seems to have been given way too much authority, way too much authority. And so, yeah, let's just say this for the sake of argument. Maybe there's a possibility that they're going to scapegoat him, that they are setting him up as the scapegoat. And maybe they are trying to shift the blame from the Queen, from Charles, to someone who's expendable, someone who's not a member of the family. That is a possibility. But it just seems like he's been a lot of places. If you go back and look at the press, like here from, what, 2 years ago? Almost, yeah, about 2 years ago, there he was at the summit. He seems to have been everywhere. So, what role did he play? And how much influence does he have on the outcome of things? How much has he influenced the Queen? How much does Charles influence the Queen? And for that matter, how much does Andrew influence the Queen? It's a big question mark. It gives them all a chance to point fingers, I would suppose. But yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. But can't give her a free pass because she's the sovereign. So yeah, but where does this guy fit into it? It seems like he's everywhere, everywhere. Let me see. He was among many who also planned for Harry to be shipped to Africa. Lord Christopher Geidt, who recently resigned from Parliament, Lord Sugar, and more, debunked hair piece and Botox paid $12 million. Thank you, Joe, for that. Okay, just imagine someone like this person in your life. Yeah, crack me up, love. I try not to. When Diana died, the Queen didn't return from vacation or lower the flags until Tony Blair told her that people were up in arms. She returned and went through the motions with a royal funeral. Thank you, John Newbold. And yeah, that is how I remember it. Uh, yeah, all snakes. Thank you, Gwendolyn Daniels. And Sonia Johnson says, Baron, I think you're on to something here, and I agree with your assessment. This Edward Young fellow is not on the up and up. Well, I mean, he may very well be a henchman for the family. I mean, giving him certain authority means that okay. Let's review this. Remember on The Crown when Margaret, and of course the Crown is all fictional, but remember the scene where Margaret wanted to do more royal duty. She stopped drinking, she stopped smoking, and whatever other stuff she was doing, right? Okay, again, fictitious, but stay with me, fictitious. And when she wanted to do more, rather than the queen telling her sister, thank you, but no thanks, she hid behind one of her royal aides. Oh, I'm banging my fist on the table. She hid her intentions. She hid her hand. She threw a rock and hit her hand, and she pushed that royal aide out there to tell Margaret, well, you know what? We're going in a different direction. There are heirs to the throne that can do this stuff, and we don't need you. The queen did, and I really do believe that the queen gives a lot of passive consent to people under her, to people in her employ, her secretaries and aides and such, all the courtiers. I believe she has a very passive way that she pushes them out front and center. But are they the ones advising her? Or is she just agreeing? Or could she possibly be the person that orchestrates this stuff? I'm afraid we just can't know. There's no way to really know it. But from what we can see here, this really reminds me of that scene of The Crown, where the queen could not be the one to say, Harry, don't come. So she tells her aide to call Harry and tell him I can't see him. And then he takes the extra step, allegedly, and says to Harry, no, you can't see the queen today. As a matter of fact, her diary is full for the rest of the week. How does that sound? Maybe that is what happened. Again, we can't possibly know the private conversations, but we do know from Harry's word, who I trust, that the queen did not call him, that one of her aides, I don't know if he named the person or not, called Harry and said, hey, if you're on your way over here, don't come because the queen's diary is full. She just realized that she had a thing. And then after that, they went on to tell Harry that, as a matter of fact, her diary, this 90-year-old woman, 92 was it at the time, 94, her diary is completely full, and there's absolutely no way that she could possibly see you. Yes, I know she's the sovereign. Yes, I know she's your grandmother, but no, you cannot see her because she's busy. She got a thing. Yeah. Thank you, Therese. Thank you. I mean, Therese, I'm sorry. It just all of a sudden a whole new world of possibilities seems to have opened up because of this court hearing or whatever. A whole new world of possibilities has opened up. And of course, this does not absolve anyone of responsibility. This does not take away the fact that the queen is still the sovereign. Charles has been a regent in everything but name. None of that takes it away. But Charles is the future. And anybody who wants to be a part of the future, they're not hedging their bets on Lizzie. They have to look to Charles. And then once they look to Charles, they're going to have to look even further to William. And so today they're playing ball with Charles. And when the time is right, they will switch their allegiance to William. Just like that one cabinet member, I think it was, the one Tory member who on one day was going to go down with the ship for Boris Johnson. And then the next day, he's one of the people co signing to the idea that, yes, Boris Johnson must go. If they do that in the prime minister's office, surely that happens in the royal household where people shift their alliances so that they can stay relevant and stay in the graces of whoever happens to be the sovereign next. It's a lot to take in, you guys, and I'm sorry if I'm just going on, but I'm just trying to sort some things out myself, and I did not go to bed last night thinking about Sir Edward Young and what role he plays in this. He could just very well be a henchman, or he can be some type of puppeteer or puppet master or whatever. It's hard to say. Lydia Barber says Ed Young's role is exactly what Dickie Arbiter was during when Diana was with them. They frustrate family displaying their ego. Dickie Arbiter is still doing the sabotage today at the age of 80. Sad people. Yeah, Dickie Arbiter is still like, you know, trying to, um, I guess, set the stage for the royal family. He's literally there. He's like the prop man. He's one of the prop people. He's one of the key grips. He's out there setting up the stage for whatever performance. Thank you for your comment. Lynn says the Queen betrayed her sister. Princess Margaret was a wreck after she was denied marriage to the love of her life. Margaret was also a downward spot on a downward spiral. After the Queen is still the same evil today. Today it's still it's still this. I'm sorry, the Queen is still the same today. Well, I see what you mean, but yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, she probably hasn't changed a whole lot. She may have slowed down a bit, but she's still the sovereign, and ultimately, the responsibility falls upon her. Which is why I tried to tell somebody one day. I said nothing is going to change until the Queen goes, and they told me, "Oh, that's terrible." I'm like, "But you don't know how many people's lives have been ruined while she was in the prime of her life. And now, based on her authority, you don't know how many people are suffering under the weight of a throne, whether or not she's in charge. They are still doing things on her authority, they are still acting on her authority. And whether or not she gives consent, that person is there at the pleasure of the Queen, at the pleasure of the royal family, at the pleasure of Prince Charles. That person is there. And the royal family, there's a lot of things that they don't like to handle. And so they have other people handle it for them. You know, they won't go out and evict someone from one of the estates, but the estate agent will take care of it. Somebody does things for them. And when they act aggressively against one another, it's usually someone that works for the family, some aide, a courtier that goes out and do the heavy lifting, that plays the bad guy, that they play the bad cop, the good cop, bad cop. Well, the courtiers get the dubious honor of being the bad cop, and that's what they're there for, like a Dickie Arbiter. Even though he's apparently not employed there anymore, old habits die hard. Okay, Flo R says that's why her sister was driven to drinking because no one had her back, even though she covered a lot of her sister's doings. Yeah, it does sound familiar, doesn't it? Hauntingly familiar. Okay, Mercedes Todd says, I think for the people who are trying to bring down the monarchy, this is an example of why they should stop going after the royals and go after the men in gray suits? I say go after both of them. I mean, I get your point, Mercedes Todd. You don't really know where one end and the other begins. That's the problem. Is that it's by the royal family's authority that they act in the way they do, but it is, sometimes they will act independent of the royal family. They will seek revenge. They will go after people on behalf, or I'm sorry, with the authority of the crown, even though they were not instructed. I mean, that happens. That happens. Princess Diana mentioned the men in gray suits. Okay, you guys. Are we ready to move on? Are we ready to move on? Thank God for that, Connie. Thank God. Leave them alone, evil Narnia people. Yeah, leave them alone. Okay, Teresa Weissman says Baron QE2 learned her duties at the knee of her grandmother and her mother, Queen Mary, and Elizabeth, Queen Mother. Bury your head in the sand, being be an ostrich. Yeah, exactly. Certain things the queen doesn't want to deal with, she looks the other way, and the courtiers handle those things for her. So yeah, it depends on which way the wind is blowing. If it's something that makes the queen look favorable, then the queen is responsible for everything. And if it's something that could possibly hurt the queen's image, then somebody will resign or they'll move that person to another household or something like that. But long as the queen doesn't take responsibility, that seems to satisfy everybody. Tiger K Hub says the scary thing is that what we see as the truth from what is made public is probably 100 times worse in reality behind closed doors. I agree with that. I agree with that. We are only scratching the surface. Hi, Jay Blocks. Thank you for being a member. Baron, every day it becomes clearer and clearer why the Sussexes are ruffling so many feathers. We are too on point in piecing this puzzle together by applying critical thinking and discernment. Oh, thank you, Jay Block, and thank you for helping to do that. I mean, we are all here for a common goal, I hope, and that is to piece these things together, call them out, and try to make public what they would rather um, keep private. I mean, somebody's got to do it. We can't depend upon the mainstream press to do it. Karen Warner says, Baron, you are so right. I figured all this out from Oprah's interview. If you really listen to what they are saying, yeah, I tried to use that as a guide. The Oprah interview, the armchair expert, and of course, the me you can't see. I try to use that as a guide when I sort through certain things that come out in the news. And so, just this morning, looking at this, and I'm just like, okay, so Harry said that he was on his way to see the Queen and he gets the phone call, not likely from his sibling, not likely from his father, but for someone close to the Queen. And of course, it seems like this Edward Young is that person. I don't know that to be 100%. I don't remember if Harry had named a name or not, but I do remember that situation, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Hi, Edith. Edith says, that is why, rather, they are afraid of Harry's book. Yeah, there is that. The book is coming. Okay, I think we should move on because this is very, very emotional to think what the Sussexes have gone through. And of course, this is something we will revisit again and again. So, I think I'm ready to jump over to another topic because, ooh boy, this is very, very. It's like a you know a kick in the gut, isn't it? It's like a punch in the gut. The idea that someone could act so aggressively against the queen's own grandson, and most likely with her consent, most likely with her consent, that this guy sat in at the Sandringham summit. And of course, the whole idea that there would be a summit that was leaked to the press. There are certain things that they can keep under wraps if they so choose, and they choose not to, especially when it has to do with the Sussexes. So, oh man. Anyway, you guys, I think we should move on. Oh yeah. Pam Porter says, Baron, remember Harry said, if you knew what I knew. Yep, if you knew what I knew. He did say that, didn't he? And Lynn says, Edward Young, Dickey, etc., all of the Queen's henchmen. The monarchy is like an iceberg. We only see through 1/3, which is above the surface. 2/3 of the evilness is buried beneath the surface. Ooh, that is ominous, isn't it? Bum, bum, bum. That is quite ominous. Tamiki agrees, says, how can you watch the whole interview? Can't even find it because it's in pieces, chopped in several videos. Um, Tamikia, they have software that can find things, and because it is licensed through Oprah and CBS and everything, they do a very good job of making sure that you're not able to watch it without them actually deciding to run it again. Now, some people were hoping that on the anniversary of the Oprah interview that they would show it again, but they did not. So I don't know where you can find it. I mean, I know some people have it on their DVRs, but any mass distribution without consent of Harpo is unlikely. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, hello, Anastasia, Isabella. Those idiots who are saying Meghan and Harry lie on Oprah interview are really really quiet. Thank you for your comment. And huh. Okay. So you guys, let's move on. Let's move on. Before we sign off for the day, we'll talk about it some more. Well, so much for keeping this down to an hour, right? Bojo the clown. Bojo. Prince Harry and Boris Johnson hold informal 20-minute catch up behind closed doors. As you can see, Harry seems to have almost a polite stance with Bojo, but otherwise, the two don't really seem to get along. So, this is January of 2020, and that, of course, is before the Sussexes stepped down, and that I think was officially stepped down, had their last anything for the Commonwealth Day, which was March of 2020, just as the pandemic was starting to unfold. Well, there you can see Omen Scobie said, just going to leave this photo right here. Leave this photo here. And it's like a glaringly obvious what their relationship was at that point. There was so many things going on behind the scene that Harry was dealing with at that time, as you could imagine. And Boris Johnson I'm sure, was absolutely no help at all. Especially he himself is considered to be, I don't know how to put it, a bit of the R word. So, and we know his sister seems to be obviously even more obviously the R word. So, yeah, I could imagine why Harry has the appearance of, um, you know, as though he's looking at some kind of clown show or something like that, or somebody self and destruct. But okay, enough about that. So as for Bojo, I don't have a whole lot to say about him. Um, they said that the resignation is not official until he goes to see the Queen. And until Boris Johnson meets with the Queen, it's not official. That this can go on for days or this can go on for months. He said he's going to resign, but when he resigns, it's totally up to him. Um, the United States has a written constitution. The British do not have a written constitution. They have tradition. They have tradition. They have, you know, a very storied, very long tradition. I think the only thing that comes close to a written constitution is what, the Magna Carta, which helped to create the United States Constitution, as many other democracies rely upon that as a bit of a guide for a constitution. But it's just implied, it's just tradition that he will go see the Queen, and then he steps down officially, and someone else takes his place. So, um, yeah, so it's not official yet, and when it becomes official, then I will breathe a sigh of relief. But it's just like that 3 months that it took for us to find out. Was it 3 months that Trump was just not going to walk away, that he was going to try to stay and fight his corner no matter what, even if it brought down the government? Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. We didn't think January 6th was going to happen either, but it did. And there were warnings. Now, I don't know that there was any warnings like that with Boris Johnson, but I'm like looking at one of the headlines inside Boris bunker. Touching photos reveal moments Boris Johnson hugged his wife and children in number 10 lobby after delivering his resignation speech. As it revealed, staff broke down in tears. Yes, they said the staff was in tears. Whatever. Okay, so that's that apparently. Now, Dan Wooten says the Tory party will come to regret the Tory party will come to regret knifing Boris, the only man who could ever have delivered Brexit. Defeating socialism and smashed Labour red wall, the BBC political establishment and Ramona Blob have now won. Well, yeah, I could imagine this would bother Dan Wooten because he's so much like Boris Johnson in certain ways. Very similar character, say anything and everything possible. But yeah, so it's not official until he meets with the Queen, and then that's when it's official. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm just looking at a few of the headlines. Um, Prince Harry reveals significant tensions with Queen's top aide. Let me see. Decision to remove Met bodyguards. High Court hears. Okay. So yeah, that's that. I'm sure that we'll have a lot more of that to discuss tomorrow. But as for now, diehard Boris Johnson loyalist Andrea Jenkins tell what is that crowd gathering outside Downing Street that those who laugh last laugh loudest as hundreds gather to toast PM's demise. I wish I was making that up. I don't have any photos or video to share with you, but yeah, Andrea Jenkins is waving her finger in the air and telling the people there's a celebration outside of Downing Street. In case you guys don't know it, that seems to be the liveliest party in town. Is people out there celebrating, and this chick is wearing this bright lemon yellow dress, so she really stands out in the crowd. And yeah, they said she's telling the people outside, those who laugh last laugh loudest, and hundreds gather to toast PM's demise. So yeah, it is room for celebration for quite a few people. Wow. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to actually look at a little bit of that on the telly because I want to join in the fun. Oh, but James O'Brien really he had a something today that I thought was spectacular. It's a bit too long to share with you, but I think I will put it in the link on the I'll put the link, I'll add the link to the community tab so you guys can see it there. All right, you guys, there are 1,114 people. Please hit that like button. And don't forget to share Royal Sussex. Please support all of these platforms. Duchess of Success was on earlier today, as well as Duke and I, and I'm sure Strive with Harry and Meghan. Oh, and was Miss BSN on? I kind of woke up and went straight to work. I woke up really late, as you guys know. I posted two other videos this morning, one in the wee hours, one at 8 a.m. Central Time, and then now I'm on a live. So, yeah, so I've kind of really extended myself today. So I haven't had a chance to really watch any of the other channels, but do make sure you support them. I spent 4 years. Okay, I spent 4 years calling that clown the old crusty Cheeto. Yeah, that's obviously Donald J. Trump. Okay. All right, you guys, we are going to. Oh, let me see if I'm done with Bojo. Uh, yes, we're going to change gears and get a little messy now. Y'all got some room for messy, don't you? I hope so because I definitely had fun with it. Um, okay, so I'm not going to play the video that I made this morning. I'll let you go and find that for yourself. It was the one about the polo kiss, comparing the two polo kisses. However, I do have this. I will talk about it. I won't show the video, but I will talk about it. Prince William and Kate flirt at charity polo match in Windsor. Now, if you just saw these pictures, you would think, yeah, that was kind of flirty. That's interesting. Even though you can see clearly that Catherine the Great is leaning away from Prince William. She's leaning back so far, it kind of reminds me of when Mount St. Helens blew. Remember how all those trees were laid flat on the mountainside when Mount St. Helen blew? That's how Kate was leaning away from William. It was like one of those trees surrounding Mount St. Helen. It was, yeah, that's right, pathetic, Gwendolyn Daniels. A pathetic display at an attempted PDA. So this is what actually happened. It was incredibly awkward. It was incredibly awkward. Again, you can see how Kate is leaning away from him, but yet the caption says Prince William and a flirtatious Kate Middleton, both 40, acted like a young couple on first date during a Windsor charity polo match today. A body language expert, anyway, it drops off after that, but um, they have some body language expert at the fail that's on retainer who will say whatever you want her to say. And she tried to make it sound like they were so close. But it's only a certain amount of closeness you can have because there's this one photo that has been floating around where William's tummy seems to be, I don't know, he's got that old man, middle age drift going, that mid drift going on. So yeah, she could only get so close to him, but he kind of makes up for whatever it is she's missing. But there you have it. The latest uh okay, this is a bit of a conspiracy theory here, but the latest dress Kate is wearing looks as though it has a large M stitched on the front. Now, when I saw it, it reminded me of Speed Racer. Remember Speed Racer's Mach 5? The way the car had that kind of M shape to it. That's what it reminds me of, is the Mach 5. But It is a weather. God, why am I talking like Barbara Walters? It is a weather weird. It is a weather reared. Yeah, it is a weather reared. I'm talking like Barbara Walters. That slipped, didn't it? It is a weather reared design, or it weird a rather wait. It is a okay. Never mind. Let me stop. Let me stop making fun of Barbara Walters. But I always wanted to do a walk show with women of different wages and backgrounds. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Maher. Wait, yeah, Joy Maher, Sherry Sweppet, Elizabeth Wasserhoff. Okay, okay. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Barbara Walters is not here to defend herself, so she says she can pronounce her R's and her W's, and I'm going to take her word for it. Barbara Walters has absolutely no trouble pronouncing her R's and W's. So to imply anything otherwise is unfair to her, and so I do apologize for making fun of Baba Wawa. Anyway, so they say that I'm sorry, the dress, they say that the West has an M shape, and that it spells out that it would spell out Megan. But okay, I'm just saying it looks like a bit of a stretch, but it is kind of a weird design, as though she's wearing some like it's one dress on top of the other. It is kind of strange, and it may even be an attempt at trolling the Sussexes. There's always that possibility that somewhere in the royal household they are trolling. Racer. Let me see. Speed Racer was. Oh yeah, I love Speed Racer. Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. He's a demon, and he's gonna be chasing after someone. Okay, yeah. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Focus. Yes. All right. And then there's this. Before and after meeting the Sussex squad, apparently, Boom seems to believe that that she's absolutely right. That she would have eyelashes, but for the fact the Sussex squad made life difficult for her. And so now she doesn't eat, she doesn't sleep. It's like a country music song. She's lost her man, she's lost the dog, she lost the coal man, she's lost her lashes. It's just like a country music song. Now, and just like any country music record, if you play it backwards, you know what happens? You ever heard that joke? What happens when you play a country music record backwards? You get your wife back, you get your dog back, you get your farm back, you get everything back. Whatever it is you lost, if you want it back, then play the records backwards. Y'all hear me? All right, now you play the record backward and you get everything back. So if she goes back in time and pretends like she did not do what she did that caused her to lose her job, her lashes, possibly her man, allegedly. Uh, no, I don't know that she lost her husband because of. I mean, as far as I know, I thought they were still married, but maybe not. But I guess if you're home more often than not, then it could make people want to get away from you, but not that that's her case. But anyway, I'm just being messy. Now, another squatty came up with this. Oh, officer, they caught me lying on TV, but the Sussex squad made me do it. And of course, by Karen, yeah, sometimes you just have to push a button and get rid of them. Bye, Karen. And then Country Life is going to be guest edited, guest edited by Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall. And as you can see, she's all in regal costume, just enough to make sure that people know that she is a royal, that she is the future queen consort. And yeah, so she's going to, I think we spoke about that yesterday. So I won't go into detail, but she is all prepared to guest edit the Country Life magazine. And as you guys know, she's not really a city gal. She is a town and country person. Well, a country person. She's not really a townie. She's more adept for the countryside, pulling wagons, foraging in the woods or whatever. She's ready for the countryside, not really a city gal. And of course, since everything else is happening, most likely we won't talk about the real elephant in the room, the bags of cash, amongst other things. But yeah, this kind of has this past week, the story about the bags of money, which I believe they said actually happened in 2015, that seems to have gone away, and we're talking about other stuff. We're also not talking about how much more the royal family costs the British taxpayers. And by the way, you guys, good news. The fuel prices are in a decline for the first time in a long time. Some people are actually paying for gasoline back into the threes, as in 3.99 a gallon. The demand has gone down. So in some rural places, certain places in the country, they are starting to see the threes again, but as high as 3.99 a gallon. So the demand is down. Some of the taxes have been removed, which keeps the prices artificially high. So there is some good news on the horizon. So, uh, fret not. Things are going to get better. It's just going to take time. That's all. But there is a global financial crisis. No country seems to be immune from it. And I have seen mass protests in some very unlikely places where people are protesting these massive price increases. So it's not just the United States, it's not just the UK or France or Canada. Everybody is feeling the pinch. Speaking of the pinch, have we talked about Boris Johnson yet? Oh, wow, that's nice. Sam's Club is 3.99. Yeah, I saw someone posted back in the threes. Even though it is at the highest point of three possible, but it's still a moral victory back in the threes. So um, good times are coming again. Just hang in there, you guys. Hang in there. So I do thank you all. It has been a pleasure. It's also been an hour and a half. And I think we covered some interesting things. A lot of this stuff is going to unfold in the next couple of days, where Bojo is concerned, and then of course, there will be more chatter about the thing about oh gosh, what is the guy's name? I forgot his name already. But anyway, where is he? There, that guy, Sir Edward Young. So there'll be more things coming out about Sir Edward Young, and I'll be here to talk about it as well as the other squaddies. So, you guys, we are doing extremely well. The Sussex squad is here to stay. We are resolute and unmoved by all of the outside forces that are trying to take down these platforms. We are a real bellwether for the type of changes that are going on um, when it comes to information about the Sussexes, which is why they said they were not going to deal with the Royal Road or any of that kind of stuff. They were only going to deal with independent media. So you have the independent media, of course, And then you also have that the Sussex squad, something that they were not expecting, but yet we are a factor. So we should all be very proud of that because we are standing firm and we are making a difference. Whether or not they want to believe that, we are making a difference. I mean, after all, anybody who's powerful enough to drive someone's eyelashes off of their face is making a difference. And I feel very pleased by that. She can go and buy some prosthetic lashes. If she goes down to the beauty supply in my neighborhood, she can buy some real lashes. I mean, some huge lashes, lashes that can be seen with the naked eye from outer space lashes. So if she wants lashes, I look, tell sister girl to hit me up and I will tell her where she can go and find some Beautimus lashes. They're out there for her, and she will, she will never go lashless again. So there is help out there for her. She just has to know who to ask. Let me see. Okay, yes, Tiger K Hub, so long. Yes, we are going to call it a day. Thank you to our faves, the queen of everything, Queen Doria. I know I still need to work on that picture. And our queen of hearts, Princess Diana. And at this point, let us find the last word of the day. Um, oh, thank you, Annie Bennett. Thank you. We need to find the last word of the day. Yes, Yvonne Clark. I also wish that there would have been greater support for her. And having known nothing but the United Kingdom, having only really got a chance to see the world from inside of the royal family, it's unfortunate that she didn't get a chance to work things out. And there was the factor of the boys, being literal possessions of the queen, that she can only dream of a different life as opposed to living that fulfilled life because of the entanglement of the royal family. So, very, very unfortunate. Okay. Huh. Sheila James, Clarence House, has moved that trashy tabloid into central operations. The shenanigans will be through the roof after Queenie. Camilla is so common and simple. Meghan, stay away. Sheila James, I will forward that information to the Sussexes. As you know, I am being paid by the Sussexes to provide this service. And there are some people who even believe I am the Duchess of Sussex. So if it's not me, then obviously I'm paying me. I am the Duchess of Sussex. So I will make sure that comment finds the proper, um, you know, mailbox, because we have a little office here and the rest of the staff, we have a little mailbox. So anyway, that's it from the Sussex's basement. In my That's it from the Sussex basement here in sunny Montecito, where there are no leaks. There are no leaks in Montecito. And today's Royal Sussex was brought to you by Cambridge Curl, the no lie Royal Relaxer. Keep your curls royally soft with Cambridge Curl. And if you order today, you could also receive that post jubbly gift with purchase while supplies last, 3 do-rags and a skull cap with Cambridge Curl. So give your hair a whirl with Cambridge Curl. Yeah, so there you go. Cambridge Curl. Um let me see here. Okay. All right, 1,052 people. I told y'all we're done. We're done. That's it. We're done. All right, 10:45. I'm watching. Say goodnight, Gracie. 10:45. Okay, 10:30. We got 10:30. Can we get 10:25? 10:25, 10:25. Can we get 10:25? And 10, let's see, 980. Okay, 10:18. All right. Yes, good night. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. All right. All right. That's what's up. 10:18. 10:18. Can we get 10:10? 10:10. Let's get 10:10. 10:14. 10:14. 10:10. Let's get 10:10. And sold. Sold. All right. Yes. Okay. Very good. Someone said good night, Gracie. All right. Last one out. Make sure you turn off the lights. Turn the lights off on your way out. This has not been a Mark Goodson or a Bill Totson production. No animals were maimed or injured during this production of Royal Sussex. I mean, absolutely no animals. And there has been absolutely no nudity or violence, although there may have been partial nudity. But what could I say? It's kind of hot in here right now. And and absolutely no one is going to receive a year's supply of turtle wax. Okay? All right. All right, so let's cue Ginger Revenge. Oh, last word of the day. That is okay, Sonia Johnson. I don't usually like to accept a compliment for the last word of the day. Oh, good. I don't have to. Audrey Teschner is saving me. There we go. Love, peace, and respect to all. Thank you, Audrey Teschner. Something to unite us all. That's all I'm ever looking for with the last word of the day. Thank you very much. And cue Ginger Avenger. Cambridge Girl. Okay. Do you guys remember my song yesterday? Remember that song? It's Witchcraft. I think that's the name of the song, Witchcraft, right? Uh, Your magic's in the air. It comes from who knows where. Your mouth, it catches hair. It's extensions. Extensions. Oh man. When I when I saw this photo, I don't know, for some reason I was just like da-dun, da, da-dun, da, da, ba, da-da. Oh yeah, she is totally giving me that Medusa vibe. Um, like her hair hisses and bites all at the same time. As for Bojo the Snowman, we have no confirmation of anything such as that, although I have heard rumors of Boris the Snowman. I've heard the rumors, but I can't not confirm or deny because I have no idea. But I've heard the rumors that, amongst other things, at number 10, that sometimes it would even snow in July. But that is all pure speculation. There is no evidence forthwith. But it would explain a lot, wouldn't it? I think it would explain a whole lot, but we don't know that to be true. So let us not assume anything. We only know what's official, and that's all that we know for now. So anyway, if something like, oh, by the way, thank you, Mod Squad, Church Nelly, Lydia, Washington, Mo Shannon, Anastasia Isabella, Sherry Ware, Anna Espinosa, and Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys for doing such an amazing job in keeping Royal Sussex a safe space. Um, Also, thank you to Mrs. Olson for that amazing tip that I got as a child about coffee. And yes, thanks to Mrs. Olson, I am more likely to have a second cup. Especially, oh man, I'm stalling because I'm fishing for a photo. Y'all know that already. So let me find it. Let me find it, and then we can get out of here. Uh, I'm still in a shady mood. But let me see if I can find that, because this whole thing about um, there being a snowstorm at number 10 and no place else, I don't know if I can believe something like that, but I am going to take a look and see if there's any validity, if there's any evidence. um, Let me see if there's any evidence, because y'all play too much. Y'all play way too much, and sometimes I don't know when to believe y'all. Uh, oh, it won't let me open up the photo. That might be a good thing. That might be a good thing. It's probably best for international relations if I can't open that photo. Um, okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Oh man, it won't open. I wonder why not. Okay, let me try this. Let me try one more time. I'm gonna try. If not, I am going to bid you adieu. Not a do rag, adieu. You get the do rag free with your Cambridge curl. Let me see. Wow, we've got lots of files. Limit to 100 images. Oh, come on now. I can open that one up. Okay, I just removed some stuff to make that possible. But oh, I know another way. There's another way I can be shady as I want to. Hold on. Bear with me, you guys. There's another way. There's always another way to be shady. If there's anybody still here, because I'm not even looking, but okay. So let me try this. Let me try. I could at least try. I could at least try. Um, okay. Is there a problem with snow at number 10? Okay, let me see. Mm. Oh, the shade of it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a quick look at the comments and see how many people believe that there is a problem or has been a problem over at number 10. Uh, okay. And all right. So let me take a look. There it is. There it is. Ah, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Whoever said that, I am apt to believe you now. Yes. Dilated pupils, glassy eyes. Okay, I see it. Yeah, Pamela Porter. That does explain a lot, doesn't it? Um, anyway, you guys, we're just having fun. We don't know any of that to be true, but it's fun to be shady. Oh man, it's fun to be shady. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what's going on over there, but it does seem like he's on high alert. It's like the old-fashioned cars with the high beams where you push that button with your foot, and all of a sudden the lights get brighter out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh, did I do that?" Well, yeah, there you have it. Somebody left the high beams on. Okay. All right, you guys. So that's it. We had our fun. I hope. Uh, John Newbold says, "Hi, all. In the polo pictures, her hair is even longer, almost to her waist at the Jubilee 2 weeks ago. It was just over the shoulder. I would like her hairdress. I mean, let me see. I would like her hairdress because, oh, this is a miracle. Yes. Well, let me see. Let me see. Uh, let me go take another look at the polo pictures. Uh, oh yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah, I see that. It's like if you pulled it straight, it would go all the way down to the non-existent bum. You're absolutely right. If you pulled it straight, it would probably go all the way down. And yes, at the other occasions, it seemed to be just past shoulder length. So, okay. Hi B10. Hi guys. Sorry I wasn't on. Oh, the big C. Oh no, B10. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I hate that happened. Well, I hope you feel better. Well, I'm glad you said hi. And promise me if you're feeling really, really bad that you will, call and get some help or something like that as soon as possible. Don't allow things to get worse. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm trying to think. So far, I've only had the one test myself, and that was only for reasons out of my circumstances. And whether or not I actually had been subject to it, I don't know. I remember at the start, I had a real bad bout of illness, and then I had like that little 2 day thing, which I'm sure wasn't exactly it. But I'm just saying that to say that it's amazing how now that everything seems to be opened up again, how many people are still subject to it. So that just means that we all have to be as careful as possible and still practice washing our hands. And for anybody in the workplace that have to wear your mask all day, I know it seems like a bother, but if you choose not to wear it, fine. But if you can, it's probably better for you just until. But yeah, so that's just a little reminder. But yeah, B10, thanks for saying hi, and we hope you feel better sooner. Okay. Let me see. The Cambridge is hugging. What do you mean? This one here? Oh wait, that one. That's the pre-kiss and the post-kiss. That was. I don't know if that's the one you mean, but I have seen that one. I don't think we had a problem with trolls today, have we? I don't think it's been like a big troll problem, but then again, I wouldn't know because the mod squad usually takes care of that very fast, and so I don't usually see much of it. Okay. Bat signal to Meghan for her eyes say help when she's not looking totally deranged. Okay. Okay. What is that? Um, oh, I have not done anything of the sort, but I know that they had some available some time ago. Oh yeah, well yeah, thank you, Lydia. You're right. Don't talk them up. Well, okay, okay. This is my advice, and let me see. Recover. Okay, my advice is push the vitamin D3, push the vitamin C, push the zinc in combination. Um, First dose, taking like a nice dose the first time with some food, and then after that, vitamin C, zinc, and D3 in combination. Those are good. And even some of the people in the hospital were, I believe, given the vitamin C and D3 and stuff. So, yeah, just as a precaution, do it if you can do it. All right, Mercedes Todd, you're right. This has been a great day. We've gone all day without you know what's. Yes, we have. Okay. All right, you guys, let's wrap it up. It's 777 in the live right now, and I'm glad to keep y'all company, and I'm glad that you all have been keeping me company actually. Um, and tomorrow, I promise we're going to try to get it down to an hour. Do go and take a look at those other two videos I posted when you have the opportunity. That was earlier today, and also, what is I was supposed to put something on the community tab. What was it? I was going to put a link to something on the community tab, and I forgot just that fast. Lord have mercy. Well, if y'all remind me, I'll do it before I get off of here. But it was something I was supposed to put on the community tab. Um. Uh. Ooh, B10. I got four of them. I did all four. I got the first two, and then I got the boosters, two boosters. Um. Let me see. Yep. Let me see. Okay, since the video what was I supposed to put on the community tab? Oh well, I guess it wasn't that important then, was it? James O'Brien. The James O'Brien I watched today. That's what it was. Aha, thank you, nobody. I remembered myself. James O'Brien. Okay. Let me find that before I go. James O'Brien. I watched him. Oh man. Oh yeah, I already did a thumbnail. I just need to put it on there. Okay. Okay, go to my watch history. Oh yeah, James O'Brien was on fire today. Let me see. Is this the one?
Individuals ever to inhabit public life in Britain has come to an inevitable and inglorious end, even sooner perhaps than some of us expected or predicted, but no less spectacular than would have always been the case. Because democracy and decency are twins. You can't have one without the other, and you can't have democracy when there is no decency in Downing Street. And there hasn't been any decency in Downing Street since 2019. I spent yesterday's programme looking at the resignations of Sajid Javid and Rishi Sunak, and I think in retrospect we were far too kind to them, particularly perhaps to Sajid Javid. The idea that these men and now women have suddenly discovered.
Okay, so that was just a sample of it. Anyway, I just put it on the community tab. It's an epic takedown. James O'Brien really summed things up as only he can. And yeah, it's there. So you'll see a picture of James O'Brien and then Bojo the clown. And then there's another picture of him, all three photos together. It says James O'Brien's farewell message to Boris Johnson. Yes, that's it. So check it out. I love it. I love it. I wish I could talk like that. If I could talk like that, you know what I would be? Well, not a millionaire because he's not either, but okay, family, Sussex squad. Let me see. Start living fake for the press. Oh yeah, B10 Pal. They are totally putting on a performance. They are putting on an epic performance. Hmm. Yeah, let me see. No appetite. Oh man. B10, I promise you I could eat through just about anything. I wish I could say that I've ever had a loss of appetite, but I tend to just eat through everything. Um, mm, but I'm sorry that's happening to you. Okay. Oh, Aura Restrepo, hello. Just checking in with us. Nice. Okay. Yeah, well, B10 just came in, so very cool. See, I knew it was a reason why I've been lingering around. I wanted to say hi to B10 and Oral. So, okay. Anybody else before we go? Uh, oh, let's see. Dr. Richie and the Young Turks did a good podcast on Duchess Meghan. Really? When did that happen? I didn't see that one. I like to see that. They wish the Cabbages stop with their ridiculous sideshow. They're nothing but clowns. Okay. All right, you guys. I think we're good. Um, try tomato juice or soup. Okay, thought we were not going to give them any PR. Um, um, who was they? Let me see. Thought we were not going to give them any PR. They do. What is that? And we maximize their efforts. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, William Dunn leaked Charles money laundering. Ooh, that's interesting. Allegedly. Compton Calicow says William done leaked Charles money laundering and putting on a front like he cares about Kate only to have Charles to be skipped over and become king. Well, he become king. Yes, that has been a working theory for a while. Is that they were going to try to shame? I've been saying that for quite some time. I think I said that months and months ago that they were there was like some kind of plot to shame Charles away from the throne. I still believe that. Whether or not it works is anybody's guess. But I've often said that I believe that there would be some type of, I guess, what do you call it, plot of some sort where they would try to shame him. And I say that it goes back to this person. If anybody has a lot to lose from Charles becoming king, which he will instantly, but how long he stays on the throne is anybody's guess. But if anybody would have an interest in that, is the person who probably purchased her coronation dress the day that her daughter married the future Prince of Wales. And that, of course, is Carol Middleton. I believe Carol Middleton, if there's any way that she could help to um, move things along so that they could, you know, get there to the throne sooner rather than later, I would assume, and I don't know this to be true, I'm just guessing and speculating, which would qualify me to be a royal expert in most people's books. I'm just guessing that if anybody would be willing to help move things along using whatever means necessary, it would be Carol Middleton, because Carol Middleton um, has done a lot to take one of the most mediocre human beings that have ever drawn a breath and put them in a prime position where they will be the future Queen of England, the Queen Consort or whatever. So, having gone through all that trouble, do you really think that she would be willing to wait possibly another 20 years, seeing that she's already in her 60s now? That she would really want to wait another 20, possibly 25 years uh, to become the queen mother. And everybody tells me that's not possible. She can't be the queen mother, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what anybody says. They're going to start some little campaign to call her queen mother. Watch and see what I'm saying. She's the future grandmother of a future king. She is the future mother of a queen consort. That why would they not call her the queen mother? Why would they not do that? She's very close to William, and if he pulls some strings and decide that that's the name that she should be given, then that's the name that she'll have. It'll be a long time before there's another queen mother to come along, a very long time. And so why not share that with her? I'm just saying, that's my guess. I know it's not the way things are supposed to be, but well, you would have never thought that a member of the family would have abdicated the throne before that happened to, who was it? Ed George the Eighth or Seventh or whatever. But yet he did it. So why wouldn't that happen? I'm just saying. That's my guess. If anybody has a vested interest, it would be that Carol Middleton. Carol, she did it. Carol Middleton. It was Carol Middleton. So um yeah, that's just my guess. So anyway, uh I have been keeping you guys long enough. Yes, Iris Demonia, I've seen this pop up a few times. James Caan, who is like one of the finest actors ever, has passed away. um I don't think he's received enough credit for the work that he's done over the years, but yeah, he is you know a very powerful presence on screen, and he's played the bad guy quite a few times too. Hollywood great James Caan, best known for his role as Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, passed away at age 82. His manager pays tribute to one of the greatest actors our business has ever seen. I agree with that. I agree with that. Very, very good. Oh well. Um, Yep, that's that. That's a wrap then. And thank you for sharing that, Iris. Okay. Huh, huh, huh. Long enough, everything, anything is possible. Yes, Pamela Porter. I'm sorry. Let me do that. Baron, I can see it. I mean, I can't see it, but I've lived long enough to know anything is possible. Yep. That's all I'm saying. The press is very powerful, and if they decide that that's the way it should be, I think they will use the full weight of their influence to keep that murmur going. She's just like a queen mother. She really is a queen mother. And next thing you know, people are going to start referring to her as the queen mother. I mean, she spent enough money to put that daughter of hers in there. I think she deserves it. She's earned it. I mean, she's got to recoup that money somehow. But yeah, let her have it. Anything that will cause embarrassment to them, I say let her have it. Let them have it. Let them all have it. Okay, you guys. Dragging this out, man. Oh well, I mean, since we're here, why not? Uh, isn't that something? Isn't that something? Oh man, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but yeah, I told you I think Kate has like a little goodie bag that she has with all kind of snacks and fruit roll-ups and stuff when she goes and duck that head and get in that helicopter. I think she really gets a kick out of that helicopter. Uh, yeah, I know. And what? Oh, it's been over 2 hours. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. We'll trench town tomorrow. Bye, y'all. Thank you. Love you.